Hello and welcome to Transformation Thursdays / Transitioning Thursdays, and also it's definitely after 12, so happy Friday. Um, so just wanted to touch base again. This is for me, but you all are privy to it. Um, so whoever it applies to, do with the information as you will. So this week was a little bit of a roller coaster. My emotions were very much up and down. It was hard to stay in my new state of mind. Um, but typically I would stay in a negative state for a very long time. It'd take me like months to get out of it. For real. If not weeks, but days, weeks, months. It turns into that. So, this time it literally took me like 2 days to really pull myself out of it. Cause I'm really, it's not like a matter of understanding. I mean, cause it is. I don't have to understand every single thing, but I do want to understand the way that I operate so that I can change it. So that's what that is for me. So as of recently, there's been a lot of synchronicities in my life, and I then said, "Oh no, just coincidences," and now I'm definitely saying these are signs from God. So I've had a couple of these things like that just constantly happen, and I've also come to terms with once I've reached one milestone, there's like a ton more tests to prove if I really met that milestone. So that's just what it was for me. So with that being said, I want to talk about letting go and also forgiveness. During this time, these couple days, I just realized forgiveness. I need to forgive. That's really the only way that I move forward. Okay. So forgiveness seems to be the hardest part for me because I realize that I need to forgive myself first. That forgiveness have to come within me. I had to forgive myself for the way that I reacted in certain situations, specifically the synchronicities that I had or signs from God. But again, there's a million other tests that comes into play with this forgiveness. So I can forgive myself for one scenario, but there's a shit ton of others that I have to work on individually to move forward. So I was actually able to go ahead and put myself back into the shoes, because it's for real, why does a person keep reliving the same type of scenarios in your brain? But for real, for me, being as logical as I am, that's the process. It's just a process for me. So I had to put myself back into those shoes and understand why I reacted that way, why I handled it that way. And because I was in such a place of negativity, it was so familiar. It was so easy to dive right back into that state of mind, but that's not where I want to be, and that's not really who I am now. So it was much easier, so I had to go ahead and I had to write that down. The next thing was letting go. I had to understand what I needed to forgive, but also, so before I get to that, actually, now that I forgave myself, which is in so many different aspects, I had to learn that I have to forgive everybody else, everything else, the way that, because we interact with people. So scenarios, I had to forgive them. And I had to understand that the reason why I had to find forgiveness is because I was so angry. So this negative state of mind is a lot of anger. And anger is a secondary emotion. So with that, I had to understand what's really the root of the problem. For me, in these past few days, the root of the problem was hurt. Past trauma. Trauma is another thing we're going to touch on in the future. But, so past trauma, and I had to understand that I'm hurt, but I'm hurt because I really still love. And so within that forgiveness of myself, the scenarios, the people involved, the past traumas and everyday shit. Everyday shit. I had to understand that things bothered and hurt me. The trauma is still definitely valid, but I am not my trauma. So that was like the main message that I want to get it across. And I had a little message to piggyback off that. So I came across another synchronicity or sign from God after having these thoughts and being able to pull myself right on out of that. It goes, sometimes I need to remind myself there is nothing wrong with me. I have patterns to unlearn, new behaviors to embody, and wounds to heal. But there is nothing wrong with the core of me and who I am. I am unlearning generations of harm and remembering love. And that takes time. So